All right, welcome back to SA Today. My name is Colin Lemana, your host, and of course we promised earlier that we'll get back to the story on the Democratic Alliance following its two-day virtual policy conference this weekend. And of course the DA has resolved that it will champion policies of redress without being racially specific. And for an analysis on the DA's weekend policy conference, we joined by leadership expert, Dr Mazwe Majola. Thank you very much for coming through, sir.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Colin. Good afternoon.
Firstly, how can you discuss racial policies without being specific?
It's confusion. It's an oxymoron, really, that you reject the word race, yet you want to acknowledge non-racialism in your policy position. So you can see that the DA, it's kind of a confused organization right now. It's confused by whom they want to target because they are trying their utmost best to please the white people, especially to regain the ground among the white people they've lost to Freedom Front Plus. But they're doing that at the cost or at the expense of losing and chasing away black people and even those progressive white liberals who will really leave DA.
So from the outside-inside perspective, when you look at the leadership, the African leadership within the DA, are they like birds sitting on a wire and not being able to speak about the real situation and being able to talk about it only when they have left the party?
It seems like the faction that is led by Helen Zille and which is aided and abetted by the Institute of Race Relations, it's so strong that even the black leaders who are within DA, even when they see that there are wrong things that are happening, but they're not bold enough to talk about it. Instead, as you are saying, that you will find them talking about it once they've left the organization. They've neutralized them. They are there. They see and they know that these policies are self-destructive to DA and are very problematic. But they won't be strong enough and bold enough to challenge this thing. They'll just go with the flow, which is very, very unfortunate because we need leaders who are grounded, leaders who are principled, leaders who are courageous, who will be able to take on and debate tough issues, not leaders who will be yes people who will just go along with the flow.
From leadership development and grooming processes, what is it that a black DA member can learn as a leader when he or she is a member of this organization, besides how to thrive within a racial environment?
It's very unfortunate because we find leaders who are really so who are careerists, who are looking after their careers, even when they see that things are wrong. You don't find leaders who are bold enough, who will challenge the status quo at the expense of losing their positions or even being fired or expelled from the organization. But leaders who will just go with the flow, they are not, because leaders who are ethical and principled are people who will challenge things. Leaders who are values driven are people who will say, I cannot stand this. Unless you want to tell me that all those black leaders within DA really they are happy with the policies, which I doubt, not all of them. You heard last week when John Moody resigned, he was saying things that happened in 2017, 2018, 2019, and you wonder why he didn't challenge those things until he left the organization. So it's very unfortunate that you find leaders who are there, but who wouldn't want to challenge things, but who like to go with the flow.
Do you think that going into the conference, the forthcoming conference, the DA can stand up and blatantly condemn racism and, of course, hone in into the clicks advert and also racism generally in the society? Can the DA just stand up and with a brave face South Africa and say, we are against racism as the DA?
They will not do that. They are wishy-washy political organization, because they know that if they do that, they're at a risk of losing white members and white voters. So that is why I say they're not principled leaders. And it's very unfortunate, because we know it's a foregone conclusion by now that John Steenhuisen will be a new leader for the Democratic Party. And I don't think he's a transformational leader. He's a unifying leader, and he's a courageous leader. He's an authentic leader. I don't think he's that kind of a leader. So that is why DA is really, it's not going to come back. It's self-destruct. Is distracted, and it seems like it's quite content and comfortable being in a position of being an opposition party. But from the look of things, as things are now, they're even going to lose the official opposition party position.
Right, Dr. Majola, thank you very much for making time to speak to us right here on SA Today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Leadership expert Dr. Mazwe Majola speaking to us about the DA rejecting the word race in its policies, and of course talking about whether or not how can you discuss the issue of racism without being specific.